Hello and welcome to the MSA Britpop British Cross Country Championship, coming to you from the Radnor Forest in mid-Wales. Last year's champion Ian Rochelle returned in his Millington Phoenix, but only in the Clubman event, as he won't be competing in the main championship this year. Ryan Cook retired his old but extremely competitive Land Rover Defender, replacing it with a brand new Land Rover Evoque style. With new frame and chassis, it looks to be a hot contender for the title this year. Conditions on day one were testing, with rain and mist adding to the challenge of the already tricky and unforgiving course. But for our seasoned BCCC drivers, it was situation normal. So let's get going with the 2013 British Cross Country Championship. So let's start with the Clubman event with Andrew West in the Milner R5. Andrew competing hard with last year's champion Ian Rochelle, but when Ian lost drive in his Millington Phoenix and was forced to retire, Andrew led comfortably for the rest of the weekend. Radu Kjorten is a new competitor to the British Cross Country Championship, and in his Mitsubishi Pajero, aided by co-driver Anna Maria Pervu, put in some steady times throughout. Their best time of 7 minutes coming on run 8, but some technical issues meant they had to take maximums on runs 11, 12 and 13, leaving them third in the Clubman event. The Freelander Challenge remains as competitive as ever. They posted decent times in runs 1 and 2. This is Matthew Morgan with Tim Morgan on board, but had to take maximums in runs 3, 4 and 5, and that seriously dented their chances of a top spot. But nonetheless, they soldiered on and finished in third place.
Okay, can you tell me a bit about the car you're driving this weekend?
It's a Freelander V6. It's one that raced last year. It's pretty standard, which goes with the Freelander Challenge, with all the usual equipment to make it work, but it's a V6 petrol.
A lot of the Freelanders are grounding out on this course. Have you had that trouble?
Yes. We do have that trouble, but luckily we've got a very strong plate underneath the car, which protects it from all the stones and whatever that we're driving over, so I think that saved us a few failures actually.
Have you had any problem with punches?
Yes, a lot of problems. We've had 4 or 5 punches now. We've adjusted tyre pressures and found different routes around the track which have helped us, I think.
It does seem to be a bit of a car killer, this track, doesn't it?
It's an absolute killer. Yesterday we only got about 2 times in because we were puncture riddled. So we're struggling a bit in the overall positions at the moment.
Okay, well I hope the rest of the day goes better for you. Good luck, guys.
Okay, cheers now.
Staying with the Freelander Challenge, Andrew Woodhouse partnered by Pete Widdop. They're struggling to find their feet in the first few rounds. Played some disappointing times, but by the 5th round found his feet, began to compete for the top spot in the Freelander Challenge. Those first few rounds held them back in this particular event, and eventually they finished in 2nd place. But the Freelander Challenge winner was none other than Chris Ratter with co-driver Pat Masters. Chris has had a long and successful relationship with the BCCC and the Freelander Challenge, and he continues to do so in 2013 with an impressive display in the trickiest of conditions. It may be too early to say, but the battle between Chris and last year's champion Nick Lyons could be one of the highlights of this season.
So could you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this season?
Yeah, it's a 1.8 K Series Freelander, standard engine and gearbox. It's got modified suspension, but other than that it's a standard shopping or hairdresser's Freelander. And it's done very well for the last day. Had 3 punctures yesterday, but that was due to careless driver not spotting the sharp rocks, but it's been good fun. It's not raining this morning yet, so it's been good.
I've seen a couple of them bottom out over the course out there. Have you been having much trouble with that?
No more than usual. The Freelander's not quite got as much ground clearance as some of the cars, so you have to pick your route slightly. They've all got big sump guards which make a lot of noise, so they sound like they're grounding out quite horribly, but it's just scrubbing the sump guard. Most of the other cars are either independent or B-Maxle rover based ones, which have got a lot more ground clearance, so don't sound as dramatic.
Here's Mark Jakes with Simon Last co-driving, and Mark's times were consistent throughout the weekend in this Land Rover special, but not quite good enough. He was last in the trophy event, but only 7 seconds behind Adam Bridgman.
Tell us a little bit about the car you're running today.
The car this year has been worked on over the winter because we had so many problems with the front axle breaking last year and bits and pieces, and guys sorted out the engine, so the engines were working spot on at the moment. So yeah, it's going well. Good event, good track. Weather's a bit naff, but there you go, that's racing for you. So yeah, all in all, good weekend so far.
Here's Adam Bridgman and Matthew Morgan in 115. A close fought battle between Adam and the pairing of Mark Jakes and Simon Larson just in. Their times being similar throughout the weekend, but it was Adam Bridgman who came out on top in his Dudley Bug.
Upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keene in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
A little bit about the car you're running this weekend.
Yes, yeah, we're running. It was a similar style to the old Lamborghinis. We changed engines this year. We did have the V8 in the back last year, but we've gone diesel this year, and she's 2.8 Isuzu, and she's running really well. It's surprising us and some other people.
So how's the course working out for you this weekend?
The course is great, love it. It's really nice, but it's getting really rough now. You're going to take it easy on some of the big dips and holes that have formed. They just kick you out over the bank.
Have you been suffering much with punches?
No, we've had one all weekend so far.
Any other surprises?
No, like I say, she's running absolutely like a dream.
Okay, well thanks for talking to us.
Doing the best we've done.
And have a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
Alan Thomas has got his 2013 campaign off to a positive start, coming third in the trophy class. Alan, with his co-driver of many years, Barry Marshall, has had a blistering 2012 campaign, winning many of the rounds, but they were ultimately beaten by Paul Harris and eventually finished in second this weekend in Radnor. Let's hope they can provide an equally competitive campaign for the remainder of the 2013 season.
Car 112 again. We upgraded the suspension on it. Got the same tyres as everybody else is using, but we're puncturing them like there's no tomorrow. Don't know exactly where we are at the moment in the championship and the trophy championship, but I think we'll maybe lie in third, something like that. We lowered it an inch, the car, over the winter, so it handles down, goes down the tracks a bit better. But it's not handling the rocks as well, so we're having quite a few punctures, but I think everybody is. The venue's good as usual, it's always good at Radnor, but we're enjoying it anyway. Real good.
Is the course getting quicker out there now it's dry?
Yeah, it's getting quicker, but we're hitting the bumps. The rocks are harder, so we're having more punctures and stuff. So, oh, and Bumpy said I got a smile.
Last year's trophy class champion Paul Harris, he's returned in his distinctive GSR Maxi Light with new co-driver Stuart Bull. Their times throughout the weekend were consistent, but not quite enough to beat Richard Kesey, and they were only just a minute behind in second position.
Can you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this year?
Same car as last year. Chipped the engine ECU through the winter to give it a bit more brake horse. Apart from that, it's still exactly the same.
How are you finding the course this weekend?
It's very rough today. Course is dug out a hell of a lot. It's bottoming the car out all the time through the rough stuff. So yeah, it's a bit hard on the back and that today.
Have you suffered much with punches?
No, not had any, no punches, so luckily at the moment we're going okay.
No other major dramas?
No, no, we haven't had any problems, so hopefully it'll stay for the rest of the weekend and we'll get to the finish.
And is the course getting faster now it's starting to dry out?
Down the Cat 1 it's probably faster, yeah, but through the rough stuff it's probably a bit slower, so it's equaling itself out really.
Richard Kesey driving with Jeffrey Fletcher in 116. Richard's 2013 campaign off to a terrific start in his Warrior Indy SSG, but with the likes of Paul Harris and Alan Thomas snapping at their heels, it's going to provide some very exciting motorsport, cross-country motorsport of course, in the next few months.
Tell us a little bit about the car you're running this season.
Yeah, it's in Warrior Indy with a sort of Mitsubishi V6, 3.5 litre, 6-speed sequential, sort of 10 sets of Fox shocks on. It used to be in Bartram's old car, so it's used to doing this, but I'm getting used to obviously the faster tracks because I'm used to Clubman's as such, tight and twisties, but not these fast flat out sections. So it's having the confidence to build up, and you just want to finish and get used to it and take it easy and enjoy it basically.
And how's the course treating you out there?
It's starting to get a little bit rough down the forest sections, and there's a bit of mist on. That last lap was a bit misty, so it got a bit slippy on the top, so it was a bit interesting. But yes, good, enjoying it.
And now here's Ryan Cook. Cook's hopes for a good result ended on the first run of day 2 when the car's bonnet flew up and then sheared off as it was powering up one of the narrow off-road sections. With the cooling system reliant on the bonnet being fixed in place, Cook decided to call it a day.
Can you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this season?
It's a design concept of a Milner with a Milner frame and a Evoque styled exterior body. Worked with Milner off-road with a proven chassis and suspension, etc. And then obviously we've designed and engineered an Evoque body to go on top of it. It's currently running a Range Rover powertrain with a Quaife differential, a Quaife diffs, etc.
Other people have been suffering from punctures. Have you had any this weekend?
No, I don't know why. I don't know, but I kind of know. I don't know whether it's because I know where the puncture area is, and I've just been backing off slightly for that. But no, touch wood. We've not had too many problems. Obviously, I don't know whether it's because of my lines or whether the suspension on the car's soaking it up as opposed to putting shock loadings through it. Because obviously we are trying, you know. So touch wood. No, we haven't had punctures, but it's renowned for punctures as the event goes on this place. The rocks seem to get unearthed, and obviously you then puncture your sidewalls, etc. But as it stands at the moment, it's been good. The car's performed very well. I can't thank Land Rover enough for believing in me and Milner Off-Road for building me a chassis and a car that's very, very competitive. So fingers crossed. It's a new year. It's a massive, massive learning curve for both, but on the whole, we should be on some good results.
And now on to the main championship. Let's hope that Steve Smith's 2013 campaign is a little bit more successful than last year. 2012 saw Steve running his Ford Focus style car, but it was besieged with technical problems and only really competed properly in one of the rounds. This weekend started okay, half decent times in runs 1 and 2, but maxima in 3, 4 and 5. He pulled it back in the later runs, but it wasn't enough, and he finished down the order.
Could you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this weekend?
Yeah, supercharged Jag in the back. We bought it out last year, had a few problems with it. Had a bit of a crash at Walters Arena. Did some damage on the back, and unfortunately found something yesterday that we didn't notice. So we had to cut all the back suspension off last night, move it over about 5 mil. Hopefully everything's sorted now. We stopped using drive shafts.
And is the car storing up any surprises for you this weekend?
No, we've just had it all aftermarket ECUs fitted. Still a few problems with the gearbox, I think. We're under development at the moment, the paddle shifts and everything. I'm sure he'll get it all sorted out. It's going quite well though.
So it's just a case of working out the gremlins then?
Yeah. I mean, we got one running yesterday and 5 maximums. Same pothole was just punching out the inner CV on the same shaft every lap. I think it's all sorted now. Fingers crossed.
Well, thanks for talking to us and good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Cheers, thank you.
Here's Ian Bartlett and Aaron Birch. Things were going well for Ian, posting consistent times in his Bartlett's 3M206. In fact, right the way through, but a maximum on run 9 put him down the leaderboard, and he eventually wound up second to last.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new GoRacingTV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
tell me a little bit about the car you're running this series?
Yeah, this is a Bartlett's 3M2A6. It's got a 4.4 V8 Jaguar Land Rover engine in it. Auto gearbox, which is electronically controlled. And I shift it using I control the electronics, so I shift on paddle shifts on the steering. Milner transfer box, Range Rover diffs, drive shafts, and then Fox shock absorbers.
And how are you finding the course this weekend?
Well, I haven't raced for 18 months. I took last season completely off to modify this car and put these new Fox shocks on. And I'm taking it steady, to be honest. I'm seeing what the car can do now with its new suspension. It's slowly building up the speed and getting faster and faster to sort of see whether it's going to break. Hopefully it won't, obviously, but see whether it's bottoming out, whether it's, basically it can take the terrain. But there's no harder test than Radnor, really.
So it's not throwing up any unsuspected surprises for you then?
So far, so good. But you just never know. You just never know. Until I get the car back to the workshop and clean it all off and have a good look around. And I mean, this is a good test for it. This really is a good test. If it can take this, it can take anything, I would say.
So no problems with punches or anything?
Yes. Yeah, that was yesterday. We got stopped on the first run because there was a blockage. Second run I had a rear puncher. Third run I had a front puncher, and the fourth run I got held up behind another vehicle halfway round, and there was just nowhere to pass, so I just had to then go at his pace. So I had 4 bad runs to start with, and obviously trying out the new car. It wasn't until the 5th run until I could really see what pace I could do, and then I've been building on that since. So.
Well, your first one off when it restarts, so hopefully good luck.
Yes, hopefully it'll be soon.
Thanks very much.
That's okay.
Car number 8, this is Andy Skelly, partnered by Laura Shepherd. Andy's time's very consistent throughout the event here at Radnor, and that earned him a very comfortable 9th position. This is Paul Myers along with Andrew Walker in the familiar Land Rover Tornado. Their times at this event were consistent, but the maximum on run 9 meant they had to settle for 8th position.
could you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this year?
Yeah, it's the same car as last year really. The only change is we put a bigger engine in. It's a 5-litre engine after we had a problem with the previous one. Beam axles, Defender, it's kind of profile obviously, and so far been very reliable, been good.
And how's the course treated you today?
Badly. We bit of a driver error on the last run, and we managed to beach a car, get it stuck in a rut, so we needed recovery. But up till then, we were doing quite well.
Any other surprises?
None yet. Touch wood. Let's hope no more surprises today either. So we'll just try and get finished now.
Have you suffered much with punches?
Yeah, we had 4 punches yesterday, but we now know where the rocks were, so we're avoiding those, and hopefully that'll be. We'll get a clean run now to the end.
Okay, well thanks very much and good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Here's Andy Powell and Richard Heath and his Lamborghini powering through with consistent times throughout the event, finishing in a very healthy 7th position. Coincidentally, that was his overall position in the 2012 competition.
Lamborghini, Chevy 5.7 ZZ4, roughly 380 horsepower. Engine's just been refreshed by Pro Build American, and it's going very well at the moment. Obviously we've just got a breaker in a little bit, but yeah, it's going well.
Yeah, how are you finding the course this weekend?
The course is very good, a little bit short, but there you go, we got to put up with it. But no, the course is very good. One bad place there for a few punches. We suffered 2 on one run yesterday, and the following lap we had another puncher. Just that one now this morning. Probably down to my driving really, more than the course itself.
Is the course changing much now it's starting to dry out?
It's getting quicker, but also at the same time it's getting rougher in places, and it's digging out, and yeah, it's good, very good.
Phil Evertson and Will Jefferson in the number 6 Metro 6R4. The pair battled hard with Andy Powell and Richard Heath and just took 6th position here at Radnor, only a minute between the two crews.
Could you tell us a little about the car you're running this season?
It's the same car I've run for the past 6 years. Gordon Monaghan built frame, hot suspension designed by him, my own bodywork, and 3-litre engine in the back. It's sort of standard procedure around here.
So how are you finding the course this weekend?
Very good actually. I was a bit wary at first, but yeah, it's a good course. It's turned out the rough's a lot better than you think. You can get stuck into it. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I really am.
Have you had much trouble with punches?
One puncher on third run, front left-hand corner. But the marshal did something about it because there were a lot of us getting punches. So they took the rocks out that were causing them, which is a big help. Then it just, the cost goes down and makes it a lot more enjoyable. So yeah, they've done well to do that for us.
Is it becoming a bit different now the course is drying out?
Yes, as it dries out, it goes a lot better, a lot faster. You've got a lot more grip. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it does. It improves it obviously because it's dry.
Okay, well, good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
This is Mike Moran with Tony Coyd alongside in car number 1. Mike Moran, one of the other drivers who was in with a chance of winning the championship last year. Unfortunately for him, it was not to be, but this year Mike returns with a new Jaguar engine and is mounting an impressive campaign so far.
Some of the biggest upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keene in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
Okay, so how are you finding the weekend?
Well, to be honest, we're having a great time. We've had a few punches. The course is fast, a bit rough in places, but it's a good course. Obviously, everybody loves being in Radnor. It's the heart of rally country in mid-Wales, so it's a special place to be on any day. So this weekend is one of my favourite weekends of the year, and it's living up to expectations. Very fast. This year we've got a car with a Jag supercharged engine. We've got about an extra 140 brake horsepower. The car itself now we're finding that we're doing at least 10-15% faster speeds. So it's enjoyable. We're having a good time. Just doing a little bit of preventive maintenance. But besides that, we've had a trouble-free weekend.
Here's Carl Gudgeon and Richard Canterbury. Carl competed in a few of the Clubman events last year while he developed his car and has now made a successful return to the championship. 4th place here at Radnor in his GSR Evo X.
tell us a little bit about the car you're running this weekend?
The car is a half home built, half professionally built GSR, built by Guy Smith and then finished off by me. It's got a Nissan engine in the back and a 6-speed elite gearbox.
And how are you finding the course this weekend?
Rough.
Have you had many punches?
None.
So are you finding it getting quicker now that it's starting to dry out?
It is getting quicker a bit, but my driving skills aren't that good.
Okay.
We're doing alright.
This is Toby Jefferson, who has former British Cross Country Championship driver Gordon Monaghan in the navigator's seat. The car, the James Law Chemical supported GSR, well on its way to its best ever finish of 3rd place.
So could you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this weekend?
It's Guy Smith frame, bodywork and suspension, and it was very well put together and built by Carl Hubel.
And how are you finding the course this weekend?
It's holding up very well with what we're putting against it. The weather's been reasonably kind to us this weekend. It's a little bit too short for my liking. I'd like a longer course, but yeah, it's got a good mixture of off-road and fast stuff, so we're doing all right.
Any major dramas to speak of?
No major dramas. We were having punches on every run yesterday, which vastly depleted my stock of spares, but gladly I think the course organisers have taken some rocks out of the course that were causing the problems, so we're not struggling too bad today.
And as the course dries out, is it starting to get a bit quicker?
The dry bits are on the fast tracks. They're very grippy, but the rough stuff's digging out, so a bit of a compromise.
So they're sort of equaling each other out?
Yeah, very much so. We're holding our good times and maintaining that.
Okay, well thanks for talking to us and have a good weekend.
Cheers, thank you.
And now Martin Cox and Paul Carson in car number 2. Martin returned to start his season fully in his GSR 206 Evo and equalled his best ever result in the British Cross Country Championship with a very healthy second. Martin is definitely one to watch in this year's competition.
Can you tell us a little bit about the car you're running this weekend?
Yeah, it's built in 2005 by Guy Smith, and he built it basically for himself and let Richard Kershaw have it straight away. So Richard Kershaw had it for 4, maybe 5 years I think, and he won the championship 4 years in a row with it. Then I bought it off him. This is my 2nd year of using it. This will be my first full year from day one of using it for the championship. It's one of Guy's space frames, 206 body shell, running Nissan engine and Sadaf gearbox and French suspension. Pretty well sorted car. The car is pretty forgiving. It'll take most of the things. I'm just getting too old to pedal it now.
wants a younger driver really. It wants Richard back in the seat. Me sort of following up, waiting for the front runners to fall up the ladder.
Okay, well thanks for talking to us and good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Okay, thanks very much.
Dan Lofthouse makes an epic return to the British Cross Country Championship and had an almighty battle with Tim Dilworth this weekend. That ended on run 5 when Tim's engine gave up and he was forced to retire. Dan took full advantage of that in his Lofthouse Freelander Proto, finishing a full 4 minutes ahead of second place man Martin Cox.
Course has been quite good, a little shorter than normal, but due to some nesting birds, but that's no one's fault. Going quite well at the moment, just need to keep it together and get to the end today. I think we're in the lead now, we've got a healthy lead through a few faults. We're having a good scrap with Mr Dilworth yesterday. Unfortunately he had engine problems, so he's out. Like I say, we just need to get to the end of the day and hopefully we'll be okay.
Okay, and good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
So here are the results of the event at Radnor. Clubman class going to Andrew West and Pete Widdock. Radu Corton and Anna Maria Pierview in second place. In the Freelanders, it was Chris Ratter and Pat Masters who won. Andrew Woodhouse and Mark Wetton second. Matt Morgan and Tim Morgan alongside in third. The trophy class saw victory for Richard Kesey and Jeffrey Fletcher, Paul Harris and Stuart Bull next from Alan Thomas and Barry Marshall. Then it was Adam Bridgman and Matt Morgan with Mark Jakes and Simon Last in fifth place. And the overall results, Dan Lofthouse and Johnny Kunja taking the win from Martin Cox, Toby Jefferson third from Carl Gudgeon, then Mike Moran, Phil Evertson in the 6R4, followed by Andy Powell, Paul Myers, Andy Skelly and Ian Bartlett. Well, Radnor's proved to be as exciting and tough as it always is. The cars and drivers are bruised and battered, but make no mistake, the teams of engineers will have them up and running for the next round, which takes place at Forest Lodge in Scotland. Please join us then for round 3 of the 2013 Brit Part MSA British Cross Country Championship.